The Mount Washington Auto Road, of course, is a historic attraction that's been operating here since 1861. But recently, in the last 30 years, we have started to add to that basic attraction. And of course, now we have Great Glen Trails on board here. Great Glen Trails operates both summer and winter with various non-motorized outdoor recreation opportunities. Years ago, in viewing how we could make a positive impact on our business here in this pristine location, I started to think about other ways we could conduct our business that might be better for the environment, and as it turns out, as I looked into it, better for our bottom line. So one of the things that we did was we started to convert our guided tour vans into burning propane as well as gasoline. You know, propane is a cleaner burning fuel, and if you're going to burn fossil fuel, you might as well burn the cleanest that you can get. But as it turns out, it's also significantly less expensive than gasoline. And so that's made sense in a couple of different ways. In addition to that, we recently converted our heating system in our lodge to wood pellet burning boilers that actually are the first heating source, and then the oil burners stay as a backup heating source. That's made a lot of sense for us up here. It's a cleaner fuel, and as importantly, we are putting our fuel costs into the local economy, not buying fuel oil from somewhere far away. There's a little known piece of history connected to the Auto Road that goes back to the 1800s, and that is that in one form or another, we've had hydropower here since the 1800s. So about 6 years ago, we redid the gearing for the hydro, and using the same waterworks that's been here since the 1800s, we're now producing by hydro generation about 80% of the power that we need in the base lodge at the Auto Road. Another of the environmental initiatives that we undertook a number of years ago was to kind of get out in front of the demand for electric cars. And we were one of the first places in northern New Hampshire to install electric car charging here at the base of the Auto Road. We now have 4 different chargers that people can use if they come here and they want to top up before going up the Auto Road. We also use an electric car as the company car here on the property. We've had a little electric smart car for 4 years now. It gets driven year-round, works wonderfully for us. So probably the biggest opportunity that we had to affect our footprint here in the Notch was when we started to contemplate the construction of the Glen House Hotel. And it had some opportunities that presented itself that we were able to take advantage of. And so the way the hotel is being constructed right now, I'm quite proud of. We are doing some things that normally are not done in hotels, because normally hotels are built to be sold in the not too distant future, and ours is built to be hung on to and be part of our campus, if you will, here for generations to come. So it has made sense for us to put money in at the beginning to do things that would make the hotel more sustainable, and in the long run make the operating costs lowest. So the biggest thing that we've done is we've decided to heat and cool the hotel with geothermal energy. It's a system where we're cycling water out of the ground and drawing either the heat or the cool, depending on the season, out of that water, and then it loops back into the ground. So there's no extraction, it's just taking energy from the ground. It's very expensive, frankly, in the short term when you're putting it in, because of the infrastructure that has to go in, but in the long term we think it's going to make great sense for us. As you can see, it's really complex. There's 30 500-foot deep wells that are supplying the geothermal energy, and so this is the system that gets that water out of the ground and circulating through heat exchangers. If there's backup heat needed, the boilers are here. Then behind me are the storage tanks for the hot water system that'll supply the domestic hot water throughout the hotel. Other things we've done in the hotel are extra insulation that people would not normally spend the money to do. Exterior rigid insulation backed up by spray foam insulation on the inside walls. The panel system on the roof gives us a very high R value in the roof. And of course, the overall tightness of the building is something we've paid particular attention to. Everybody these days should be building tight buildings, but that was one of our things that we were really striving to get right first time around. Windows and the doors seal very well. We're going to have a very tight, solid building. Obviously we're at the entrance and we're walking in. The registration will be over here on the left. And the big wow moment will be as people walk through the lobby kind of registration area and on to see this window wall out on the mountains. So even with the plastic on the windows right now, you can still sort of get an idea of what the view is going to be like from in the lounge area here. So you're kind of looking at the bar over on the right. On the back side of the this space is going to be a fireplace with masonry floor to ceiling, and it's just going to be lots of different seating arrangements here in this area. So there's going to be a lot of different places where you can just kind of, even if you're not staying here, just kind of come and meet a friend and have a cup of tea or a beer later and catch up. It's just going to be a very inviting atmosphere to sit and enjoy the mountains. Going back to our history on the location here, the first thing here, long before the carriage road was here, was the Glen House Hotel, late 1850s. And so we're continuing with that tradition. This will be the 5th Glen House, and what it does is not only return us to our hospitality roots, but it kind of completes the picture for us here, because we've got these great other pieces of the operation, the Mount Washington Auto Road and now Great Glen Trails, but we have no bed base right here that will expand what we can do early in the morning, late into the evening, lots of programming, lots of opportunities that the hotel is going to bring when we're able to open this coming summer.